Marty Gruber with C5MI, and we're going to provide a short demo today of the capability of our live warehouse demo system connected with a real-time location tracking system and the KINEXON OS with SAP EWM. The system that we have for KINEXON is an on-premise system as part of our live warehouse experience center, and we have it connected to the SAP EWM cloud. And what you're going to see today, Jason's going to provide a demo, and he's going to show you how the transactional pieces work live with the real-time location tracking system, the ultra-wideband system, and how quickly it updates the auto confirmations into SAP to show the value of being able to drive live confirmations using location position autonomy. So I'm going to turn it over to Jason now, and he's going to provide the demo.
All right, thanks, Marty. I'll go ahead and share my screen here and kind of talk through this. So, can you see my screen, Marty?
Yes.
All right. So right now I'm sharing our KINEXON warehouse setup at our RTLS demo center in Jacksonville, Florida. And what we're showing here is a digital twin of our actual physical location. So if you were there in person, you would see that we have these actual physical locations set up. So kind of a first step, we mapped our physical location to KINEXON by uploading our CAD drawings of our physical site. And then we mapped the geo coordinates and integrated that with the KINEXON RTLS anchors. So we've got what look like wireless access points set up around the facility so that we can do that real-time location tracking and correspond the actual geo coordinates of the tags moving through the facility to our physical location. So for the course of the demo, I'm going to go through a very simple example that would kind of represent receipt of material from a vendor. So we'll show it coming off of the trailer, moving into an unloading zone, going from our unloading zone to an inbound staging area, and then going from an inbound staging area to deconsolidation. So as part of that, we've integrated SAP with KINEXON to automate some of our warehouse task confirmation. So today, and as is using SAP only, there would be physical interaction from a user to confirm these moves throughout the physical process. And what we'll demonstrate throughout the course of the demo is that we've tied use of the KINEXON RTLS tags to the physical movement of our handling units through the process, so that once the tag moves into a specific staging area, we'll trigger a real-time event to confirm that warehouse task back on our SAP system. All right, so the first step here is I'm going to go into the warehouse monitor and pull up an inbound delivery that I've created. So the inbound delivery represents an inbound shipment from a supplier. So got to imagine that we've received an electronic ASN from our supplier, and that electronic ASN has key information about what we're expecting to receive. So I'll pull up our inbound delivery here, and this is really going to be, a blue dot type of example where the vendor is at a high level of conformance and they've sent us all the information we've requested. So in this example, our supplier provided us down to how the material is packed. So our ASN or inbound delivery has a handling unit, and within that handling unit is actually 2 additional handling units. So we're looking at a nested packing scenario, and that's why we're going to ultimately drive this material through our deconsolidation process. So step 1 is you have to imagine that we've got a delivery and the truck is backed up to our inbound receiving door. And for step 1, we're going to basically grab our handling unit and we're going to associate a real-time tag to that handling unit. As part of the inbound delivery creation process, we've called an API to KINEXON when we created our correspondingly handling unit in SAP. So we already have a handling unit object that's been created on the KINEXON side. So I'm going to utilize the KINEXON companion app to establish a relationship between our handling unit object and a real-time location tracking tag. Oh. I'm going to click show in the app, and I'm going to say tag assignment. And I'm going to scan my handling unit as step 1. And then I'm going to scan an RTLS tag identifier as step 2. I'll do the assignment. And now I can look on the map, and I can see that we've now got an object showing up on our map. Since I'm not actually at the physical site right now, I chose one of our RTLS tags, but it's just to kind of get it onto the map for the sake of the demo. I'm going to disassociate that tag so that I can move the object around now without it automatically resetting the position on the map. So I'm going to drag this down to my trailer. I've done my assignment, and now I will move my HU into my unloading zone. So now I'll go back into SAP and I'll do the goods receipt process. So once I've unloaded the material, I'll go through and I'll goods receive the material into SAP. And this is really where you take ownership of the material in a normal physical process. So I'll go into the inbound delivery. I would do my typical validations and make sure the material I'm expecting on my ASN or my handling unit matches what physically showed up, and execute the goods receipt. So everything looks good. I'm going to click on the goods receipt button, goods receive the material. And I can go back into the warehouse monitor now, and I can refresh this. I can see my goods receipt is now completed. The next step would be, now that I have goods received the material, I want to trigger a warehouse task to move the material to the next steps in the process. So I'll come in and I'll say create WT in background. And I can see 2 warehouse tasks were created. If I click my warehouse task button, I can now see that I've got a warehouse task that's telling me my source is UG ID01, which is my unloading zone, and I'm going to go to 901001, which is my inbound staging area. And I can see some other key information. I can see status of the warehouse task. It's currently blank, which means that it is basically open. I can see confirmation date, confirmation time, and I can see that that's not yet populated because this is an open task. I can see things like queue, my activity areas, logical steps, all kinds of information here. So now I'm going to go into KINEXON, and I'm going to move my handling unit from unloading into my inbound staging area. So let me move this guy. Now if I come back into SAP and refresh my warehouse task, I can now see that that warehouse task has gone from open, which is blank, to C status, which is complete or confirmed. I can also see that my confirmed by was by an actual user called KINEXON, and that's the user that we're using in our integration between KINEXON and SAP. I can also see my confirmation date of July 1st and my confirmation time. And you can see there that the confirmation was nearly immediate. It is an asynchronous process, but it's near sub-second response time from when we trigger that confirmation from KINEXON and we receive the confirmation in SAP. So it is very much a near real-time process. I can also see that I've got new WTs that were created. So part of our configuration in our demo environment has triggered the next logical step to move from our source bin, which is 901001, which is our staging area, to our deconsolidation area. So like I had mentioned before, this is a nested handling unit. So we've got an HU that as an outer HU, and within that we have two inner HUs. I'm going to jump back over to KINEXON now. And one of the features that we're really excited about is making this a true digital twin and seeing some of the benefits from having the ability to see real-time dwell of that handling unit in a specific area. So if we go down to our process dashboard, I can see I've got buckets that are corresponding to the staging areas or geofences within KINEXON. And I can see that handling unit that I moved in to my staging area. And you can see that it's been sitting there for 2 minutes, 10, 11, 12 seconds. So it's automatically incrementing the dwell time of that handling unit. And that's very useful for things such as setting alerts or warnings for material. So I've got it configured now that after a minute, we set this as a warning status, and then after 5 minutes, it goes into an error status. And not only can we represent that visually here, we can do real-time event triggering to trigger follow-on processes or escalations so that the operations team can make sure that they're taking the appropriate action. Okay, I'm going to go back into our location view, and I'm going to move this handling unit from our inbound staging into our deconsolidation zone. Okay, I'll jump back into SAP and I'll refresh this. And now I can see I've got an additional task that was confirmed by KINEXON to show that I have moved from 9010 into our deconsolidation zone. You can also see that there's two open tasks that are in waiting status. So B is waiting status for warehouse task in SAP. And those are the tasks that are saying, hey, move this from deconsolidation to our final destination bin. But we can't do that yet because we still need to deconsolidate the material. So I will do the decon here just to kind of show you how that will change once we do the deconsolidation process. So I'm going to log into my deconsolidation work center for my given warehouse. And I can see the handling unit I've been using through the course of the demo sitting in here. So I've got handling unit 3036, and within that I've got 2537 and 2538. So to deconsolidate this material, I will basically move my inner handling unit from the handling unit into the deconsolidation work center. And I'll move the second one into the deconsolidation work center. I'll say that my deconsolidation is complete for each HU. I will save it. And I can go back into the warehouse monitor, refresh my status, and see that I've got an open task from decon to put away staging. So just to demonstrate that KINEXON will really do in the confirmation, I'll confirm this within SAP. So confirm WT in background. And I can refresh it and see now that decon to put away staging was confirmed by my user ID and not the KINEXON ID. Okay, so from a systematic demonstration, I think that's all I've got planned today. Marty, do you have any additional closing statements you'd like to add?
That's it. It looks great. We're really excited about this capability. Thanks a lot, Jason. I appreciate it.